Hello. So normally I like to talk about the paintings that I have completed and the explanations behind why I did them or how I did them. But today I want to do something a little bit different. I actually want to talk about the paintings that I have not finished and probably will not finish, or the paintings that I did finish but I don't like, so they have never seen the light of day. So I'm going to begin first with this one. So this I actually did in high school, and I started it with acrylic paints, and this was probably like the first painting that I ever tried with acrylic paints. And it doesn't actually look that bad. I don't hate it, but as you could tell, I didn't finish it, and I don't think I ever am going to finish it. I went back previously, probably around April of this year, and I tried to kind of finish it up, try to make it more presentable. So I started adding like an outline and ink, and I think it made it look a little bit better, but I just don't think it's anything that I'm gonna finish. And if I do, then I'm just gonna have to eat my words, and that's totally fine. But I wanted to show this one first because it's the first that I actually really did a serious painting of. So this is kind of like the origins of like it all, even though it's an acrylic, and I basically never worked with acrylic again for the rest of my life. So there's that one. And then this one came many years later. So this was when I believe I was a freshman in college, and some of the works that I did before this were the ones that I did exclusively in tea and the water-soluble Prismacolor pencils. This one I tried to use more of like my general watercolor palette, this exact one, to be honest with you, that it's that old. So I tried using that. No tea in this one, so one of the first things that I did that had no tea in it whatsoever, and I didn't like it. This was like the first thing I did that had a lot of color in it, obviously because it wasn't tea based, so it lacked that brown, the stain, the development of the layers, and I was not familiar with actually using watercolor just as the main way to paint. So I kind of went in like really strong, just a ton of color all at once, and I used the water-soluble pencil here as well. And I didn't really know how to work them that well because on top of tea, there's a lot of forgiveness, I think, but in this, not really. So you can just see a lot of the questionable, like the strokes. There's no blending really. I don't like how I did the face. I did not really do that many humanoid figures. So while the idea is kind of nice and I would like to explore that kind of idea again, I don't think I will, and I just don't like this. You could consider it finished, possibly, but whether it's finished or not, it doesn't matter to me. I don't like it. So then this one kind of hurts me. I did this one a few years later, maybe 2 years later, 3 years later, I don't know. I tried doing it probably the winter of 2016, and the sister location of Five Nights at Freddy's had come out around this time recently, and then I would sit and I would watch Twitch streams of, you know, John Wolf or other YouTubers playing it on Twitch, just like nonstop. And that was when I was introduced to this character, Lolbit, whatever. And that quickly became my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's character. I actually have a figurine of him, her, whatever, sitting on this very desk, but I don't want to disturb it, but believe me, it's there. So I wanted to paint him, her, it. And in general, the idea was fine, but again, at that time, I didn't really use a lot of darker watercolor at this point. And I also used gouache in this, which I wasn't very good at using. I did use it in a couple of other paintings that I did in the past, some that I have shown in my explaining my paintings, where it turned out good. But when I tried it with this, it just really didn't work out. And so maybe I could try exploring this idea again. I tried to save it, I really did, but it just is really messy. The more paint that I put on it, the worse it looks, in my opinion. And it's just almost irredeemable. And at this point, it's old, and I don't care to finish it. She's cute, but when you're not proud of it, you're not proud of it. Still my favorite character, and I still really love that game. So the last one that I'm going to show you today is this one. I did this one around the same time. I actually did this one while I was on a Skype call with my boyfriend while he was in an absolutely terrible mood. And so this was kind of more of like a time filler while chatting with someone, I guess. You know, when you dick around when someone's talking to you, or when you're sitting in class or you're waiting on something and you don't really have a goal and you don't really have anything you're going for and it's not really that important to you. It's just kind of something that you're doing. That was this, and I kind of had like Silent Hill on the mind. This was probably done in the same month as that other one. I guess I was on a game kick or something. So I was thinking Silent Hill on this one. So I kind of went for the idea, but the deeper that I got into it, the more I just really didn't like it. It's not good, and that's okay. You can make things that kind of suck. One of my friends had seen it later and said she liked it, so I was going to give it to her. Never gave it to her. I kind of wish that I did, so I wouldn't have this sticking around with all my other stuff, but you know, it is what it is. And it's kind of good to look at some of the things that you're not proud of, because then you kind of know what you can do better. And this kind of goes along the lines of that first one, where I just didn't like the excessive use of like these dark colors. I didn't like that I couldn't blend out the water soluble pencil as much as I wanted to. I think I even used some normal like graphite pencil with this as well, which was like kind of a big mistake on my part, but you know, when you're experimenting, you win some, you lose some. So I learned some things with this painting, but I don't like it. Outside this video, you're never gonna see it. So that's all the paintings that I'm gonna show you today. I went through it a little bit quick because honestly, I don't like these paintings. So there's not really much to say other than why I don't like them. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna do another one of these videos. There's not a lot of paintings that I've abandoned, but there's still at least another handful of them that once I get around to it, I'll probably post another video like this, maybe going a little bit more in depth. Those ones were just some of my earlier on paintings, and honestly, I don't know, what can you say? Sometimes it sucks. Thanks.